In cold calling, probably one of the most important things is the first 5 seconds. If you don't get the first 5 seconds right, there is no call. There certainly is no close. So you have to get the first 5 seconds right. How do you do that? How do you nail? How do you ace? How do you crush the first 5 seconds to get the call started, to get things underway, and to come across as someone that knows what they're doing and is on the ball? We're going to be diving into this and a lot more topics. There's a lot of content on the way. If you haven't checked out the channel, do take a look. Leave a comment, leave a like. Any questions, let me know. And with that, let's get started. The thing about cold calling is that you are really doing something which is a little unusual. You're talking to strangers. Now, strangers obviously have your money, as Grant Cardone likes to say, but there's more to it than that. If you don't get the first couple seconds right, then nobody's going to talk to you. And I've literally had this experience just over the last couple of weeks. We're building out our appointment setting team for a company that I'm with, which is Appointment Hunters, appointmenthunters.com. If you happen to be somebody that is looking for a position as an appointment setter, talk to me, shoot me a message, go through the Facebook group. What I saw a lot of people struggling with was getting the first 5 seconds in. Now, I always put my money where my mouth is, so I would go in and then take the exact same leads, and then I would contact them just as they're contacting them using the same phone systems, the exact same script, nothing different. Literally verbatim, word for word, same script. And for some reason, I was closing between 2 to 4 times, and in some cases, way more times because they were closing 0 per hour, and I was doing 4 or 5 appointments per hour. What was I doing so differently that other agents, other appointment setters in our team, and what are our best appointment setters doing that are getting them through? Because really, whether it's going to be appointment setting, whether it's going to be cold calls, the first 5 seconds are the most critical. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, then you know why that is. In the first 5 seconds, really what it boils down to is you want to explain to the person very quickly, who are you, why are you calling, how long is this going to take, right? Why should I care about anything that you have to say? If you don't get that right within the first 5 seconds, in addition to also sounding like you know what you're talking about, there's a good reason that you're calling, and there's a good reason for them to continue listening to you, there is something in it for them, then you're just not going to have very many calls go through. And if you're not talking to that many people, well, then it's pretty simple. You're just not going to be closing that many deals. You're certainly not going to be making that much revenue. And if it's a sales position, then you won't be in that sales position for very long. It is performance-based. Most sales positions are commission-based. So cold calling is no different. It's just that much more important to nail the first 5 seconds. If you get the first 5 seconds, then the rest of it becomes easy. So now let's dive into how does that actually work. The reality is that when you're looking at the first 5 seconds, you want to kind of look at it this way. Really, what it boils down to is you have to sound like 3 things. You're sharp, you're in control, you're an authority, and you provide them a good reason for them to continue listening. You want to do that all within the first 5 seconds. If you don't do that right, then there's a very good chance that they're going to hang up. Now, there's even instances where, somebody, for example, might hear you, right? And I've seen this happen many, many times where I'll listen to a call or I'll hear one of my appointment setters or somebody in my sales team doing a call. And then when I listen to that call, the recording to hear what the client is saying, they don't understand who this person is and why they're calling. And that's just really basic stuff. That's sales 101. That's cold calling 101. You have to make it very clear as to who you're calling, why you're calling them, and who you are, right? Who you're with, why you're calling, your company, what the product is. You have to give a good reason. There has to be something in there for them to listen. What's the incentive for them to continue listening to you? If the lead is one that came in, they opted in through a form, through your website, a lead form, and now you're contacting them, so it's the first contact, then the way that you would go about that is you would say something along the lines of, "Hi, Joe? Hey, Joe, this is Roy. I'm calling from Joe's Roofing. The reason I was calling is actually because I see that you left your information with us on the website. You were looking at getting a new roof. And I want to touch base with you and find out a little bit more about what you're looking for. Can you tell me what kind of condition your current roof is? That's semi-warm. That's not going to be exactly, the coldest thing. But if you're calling completely out of the blue, something I strongly suggest you do not do is to call without even a name. You just you're just going to have a very hard time. So I just do not recommend calling without at least having a name. I've said this before in other videos. You got to have a name, and you start off with the name. If you don't have the name, this is just so much harder, and you're better off just using email or Facebook campaigns or anything else. But just you need to get a name at the very least, a name and a phone number. If you have that to work from, then there's things that you can do. But if you don't have that at the very least, it's going to be a bit tricky. Here's another thing that I want to cover with you: B2C cold calls versus B2B cold calls. In B2C calls, the way that it works is that you want to basically be looking at it as being more upbeat, a bit more positive, something that is going to be a bit more interesting to talk to. If you sound a bit too cold, too distant, you don't sound a little bit warm, well, you're not going to get that rapport built. And they're just regular everyday people that you're talking to, so these aren't business owners. So you want to be a bit warmer, a bit more positive, a bit more, just general, being more human, right? Not that I ever suggest you don't be human, but there's different levels. So you want to bring up your level a little bit, just to sound a bit more positive. And what you kind of want to use is a little bit more upward voice inflection. What I mean by upward voice inflection is that you're kind of, at the end of each sentence, you're doing a little bit of an up, and that's an upward voice inflection. So with B2C, you're doing more upward voice inflections. With B2B, you can do a couple, but you want to tone that down a little bit, and you want to do more downward voice inflections. So a downward voice inflection is where you're bringing the end of the sentence to a down, and you're finishing it very solidly. That's kind of downward voice inflection. So I'm not saying that you have to say every sentence that way, but you can mix it up so that you have a couple sentences where it is a mix of downward voice inflection and a couple that are upward voice inflection. So you want to vary it up a little bit. You want to play with your tonality. For example, if they open the conversation, if they start talking to you and the way they start the call is like, hey, how's it going? Then you want to come back and return in kind. You want to keep your energy level, and this is called mirroring, or basically reflecting however they're talking to you. So if they open the call with a lot of energy, you want to come back at them with a lot of energy. If they open it with a lower amount of energy, you can be a little bit higher than that if it's B2C, but not by too much. You don't want to be way, way higher than they are. That's going to be off-putting. Especially for B2B, you need to be more tuned to that. Now for B2B, if you open the call, you need to speak with a lot more authority. So certainty is a commonality between the two. You always want to speak with a lot of certainty, a lot of professionalism. But with the authority element, that's going to be more critical for a B2B conversation, especially if you get in an encounter with, let's say, a secretary or a gatekeeper of some sort. This is not the decision maker, but this is somebody that you need to get past. So when that happens, you really want to be looking at it as, okay, what do I need to say to get past this gatekeeper? And the way that's going to work is you're going to basically say, hi, is John there? Right? So obviously if let's say a woman answers, then obviously that's not John. So you can say, hi, is John there? Who shall I say is calling? This is Roy. Can you pass me through, please? Or you can say, hi, this is Roy. Is John in the office right now? Yes, he is. Who shall I say is calling? Well, I'm calling regarding the marketing that you guys do. Is he actually around right now? Is he available? If you're calling, let's say, from a marketing company. But you want to basically say that like it's absolutely normal to pass him through. Can I talk to John? Okay, what would be the best time to reach him? Is there, if he's not in the office, what would be a better time to reach him? Okay, and does he have an email address, by the way? Because I tried using the one that I thought I had. It doesn't seem like it's correct. You can play with things like that, right? The key thing is that generally, whether you're talking to a gatekeeper or a decision maker in B2B, is confidence, knowing what you're going to say. And really, at the end of the day, whether it's B2C or B2B, you kind of need to know exactly what you're going to say. You need to have a script. So you want to actually write out your first 5 seconds. Those are pretty much going to be the same. And you should already know exactly what's going to come out of your mouth right before you even get on the phone. You already know exactly what you're going to say. That's the first 5 seconds. Some people will know exactly what they're going to say for the entire call. I think that really depends on if the calls are really similar, if they're really dynamic, the type of clients you're going to get. But that's another video for another day. The point is that make sure that you have something that's engaging. Make sure that you have something that explains the answers that are going to be popping up into their head. Who is this? Why are they calling? How long is this going to take? and make sure that your tonality, really, really important, is on point. And you need to get through and make sure that if there's any doubt or if there's any uncertainty, that you address that immediately. So for example, if they're not sure where you're calling from, you want to make sure that you clarify that. So for example, if you say, hey, I'm calling you from so-and-so business, you actually actually left your information on our website. And this was in regards to finding out more about our, what shall we say we're doing? Our flooring services, for example, right? So you left your information on our website about our flooring services and you wanted to find out a bit more information. And then right there, they might jump in. It's like, I don't, which company is this again? You'll say, yeah, do you remember going onto the website? This would have been Joe's Flooring. You were on there, I think, the other day. You might have come in through Facebook and then you filled out a form telling us a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for. You recall doing that? Anyway, what I was trying to find out is, can you tell me what kind of a home you have? Is this flooring that you're looking to do on the first or the second floor? You get through. That's a bit more than 5 seconds, but the idea is you get past it. So you can't just have it be like, I don't remember signing up to that. Well, I think you have the wrong number. Click. Right? You want to avoid that. If they say, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who you are. I don't think you have the right number. And they're going to hang up and be like, wait, didn't you fill out a form the other day? You need to catch them. Don't just give up if they say, I'm not sure. You know, if it's that kind of situation where it's an inbound, then you need to do it that way. Let's say you're doing a proper cold call and you say, hey Joe, this is Roy. I'm calling you from Mark's Printing. I think that we might have spoken before, I'm not sure. But I was actually calling because I know that you're looking to do a bit of printing for your business. You do it on a regular basis. Is that right? Yeah, I'm not interested. Well, of course you're not interested. You have no idea why I'm calling. Why would you be interested? Sorry, why are you calling? And then you have another out. That's the first 5 seconds. So you want to kind of look at it that way, right? You want to have something where if they say not interested or they're going to go hang up, you have to have that catch. So first is the first things you're going to say, getting that on the ball. And second is what you're going to say if it starts falling apart initially. If they start saying, yeah, sorry, I don't remember doing that, or sorry, I don't think I'm interested, you need to have a prepared response that's already right there and ready to go. So that's what I would suggest you do with the first 5 seconds. Last tip for the first 5 seconds is record your first 5 seconds on your phone and record it in a multitude of different ways so that you have an idea of what you sound like to yourself, so you know exactly what that sounds like. If you're clear on it and it sounds good to you, then probably it'll sound good to your clients. If you don't like the sound of it, it's probably not going to be something your clients are going to enjoy hearing. You're your own worst critic, really, at the end of the day. If you're not, you should be. So my advice at the end of the day is get everything tuned up, ready to go, then record yourself. Make sure you're happy with it. Share it with a friend, share it with somebody you trust, share it with somebody that you look up to. Hell, go into our Facebook group and share it there and ask people for their advice and their opinions and see if there's anything you can tune up. Maybe I'll jump in and help you out. I'd be happy to. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that. I will see you in the next Facebook posts, Facebook video, the Facebook group, or I will see you in the next video if you've already subscribed. Make sure you leave a like if you like the content. If you have any questions, you want to see anything in future, any particular kind of content you want me to do, a video, any ideas, anything like that, let me know. And I'd be happy to jump in and make a video for you. Thanks a lot. Take care for now.